Welcome to Shadow Keepers, where the shadows hold secrets and the paranormal takes center stage. I'm Lee, your guide to the unexplained.
And I'm B, here to dive into the creepiest corners of Reddit, where people share their most chilling, unexplainable encounters.
From haunted houses to eerie coincidences, these stories will send shivers down your spine.
So grab a flashlight and settle in. It's time to explore the shadows together. Okay, my first story is from Paranormal Encounters from Redditor Silver Honkler. I don't even know how to say this, but I think I saw a gnome in the National Forest yesterday. I will be the first to admit I thought these types of cryptids were a joke and not real, and I've never been able to take them seriously. I am an outdoorsman and I have been for 35 years. I grew up in the woods. I memorized trees for mushroom hunting for a living. I know every brook, stream, bush, berry grove, log, you name it. I'm on a forest road and I'm on hour 9 of not a soul in sight. I gather some mushrooms and look up the road and see a rock has fallen from the loose, steep side of the mountain to the middle of the road. I make a mental note that I have to move it and not drive over it. I gather my mushrooms and get back to the car. I look up and I see what appears to be a 2 or 2.5 foot tall little brown thing walking from the side of the road over to the rock. My first logical thought is that it is a squirrel, but I see it is walking on 2 legs, appears to be wearing brown clothes or fur clothing, and is shaped like a human but very tiny. It's not scurrying either. It is ambling on 2 legs like a human would, just casually walking like this is some normal, regular ass thing. I don't believe my lying eyes. It has to be something else. I get back in the car and head up the road to see that the rock has been pushed back to the side of the road from whence it came. It had fallen off the hill, rolled to my left, then was sitting back on the other side of the road on the right. There are drag marks like something slid it back. I look, I smell, I sense, I listen, nothing. I don't know where gnomes live, but the old, particularly log section where I was at looked pretty perfect for a clan of these things. Lots of places to hide, secluded near water, plenty of routes of escape, and would be easy to dig little holes in the mountains and be fortified against invaders. The side road into it was flooded and appears to do so regularly, so these little guys even have their own moat. I'm positive I'm overthinking this. It was a long drive back up the mountain, then down the mountain the other way, and sometime home. And I can't pick this apart into anything else but being a tiny little forest man. I'm like 1,000% positive that I saw what I saw. It was near a military special interest zone, allegedly blocked off due to some native butterflies. But I'm starting to wonder if this research area is really about butterflies after all. They send you to prison, ban you from parks, and give you a $5,000 fine if you take a single berry from inside that boundary. That's it.
Why does all these weird stuff happen around military bases? Like, why are they like, what are they doing? What kind of experiments are they doing? And then things just escape.
No, but it makes sense. It makes sense because if you go off like conspiracy theories, I hate conspiracy theories. I think I hate that they're called that. Like, just be a theory. But if they're something that is vital to our planet surviving and needing to function, I would see like our government protecting it, especially from the outside world, especially like people, because people are assholes and they're vindictive and they're evil and they're greedy, and I could see them taking things like this that's like supernatural and otherworldly and destroying it.
Mhm.
And it's not saying that the government isn't using like studying them or whatever, but I could also see them protecting them because they are vital.
But a lot of weird activity happens around there.
I think it's because the government is protecting it.
But are they protecting it or are they making it happen in the first place?
I don't care either way. Like,
That's why it's a
I really don't.
conspiracy theory. Like, what's happening?
I think that's my, like, my issues, like, I don't care either way.
Mhm.
'Cause, like, whether, like, that virus that's not allowed to be said on social medias and stuff, whether that was natural or man-made, I don't care. It happened.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, to me, I've always loved gnomes and butterflies.
Yeah.
Not butterflies, fairies. I have posters and pictures and books of fairies, and I have gnomes now in my yard, and I wanna do a fairy garden because I think they're real. I look for natural, like, circles and lawns, like, I have one in my lawn now, and I just noticed, even though it's snowing, but I did notice that the circle in my lawn, which I think had a tree before we moved in, and they removed it, but now it's filled with, like, clover, which I don't know where it came from because we've been putting, like, grass seed, but that's supposed to be, like, a natural place for fairies to dwell,
Mhm.
and, like, if I basically, I could put a circle around that circle, and if I put something on the inside, I could attract fairies and get a favor.
Yeah, there's a picture of my little nephew, and he's standing in a field in a circle of mushrooms. And
Yeah,
then they say if that circle of mushrooms, fairies were there. So
yeah,
that was really cool
it's
to see.
it's like a meeting ground,
Mhm.
and you
So
could
he
they say
yeah.
you could if it's a perfect circle, you can trap a fairy there with
Yeah, it
food.
was a perfect circle
Yeah, with
of mushrooms,
food
yeah.
or, like, sugar water, almost like
Mhm.
hummingbirds.
Yeah, but if you give them something and they give you something and you accept it, aren't you kinda indebted to each other or to them or something? Like, they say don't take what a fairy offers you, don't take it.
So, the p reason so, yes. Now, if a fairy came and it offered you something without you have offering something first, that's a no-no. You do not accept something from the fae. If you've given something and they take it, they have to give you something back. You're not indebted to them, they're now indebted to you, which they don't like. You're always supposed to be indebted to the fae, not them indebted to you. So that's where it's like basically a loophole to keep you safe. You trap them, you feed them, but now you want a favor.
Yep,
But you can also make them an enemy.
I'm sure.
But this story does have it's an update, but they made a whole other post. I think they couldn't update on their post. So I could read that one next too, since it goes with it. Again from Silver Honkler. I went back to where I saw the gnome halfling thing to get you guys some pictures. Suffice to say, I am never going back. Hey all, last week I had a really strange encounter. Some people requested I give photos of the spot where it happened. I had some extra time today and I was in the area, so I thought it would be cool to get some pictures. It was pretty uneventful at first. It hasn't rained in a while, so the mushrooms weren't great. I didn't get many spooky vibes, and it was just another place in the woods. I kind of forgot about it for a while when I started finding some mushrooms in some adjacent areas. I didn't see any other pickers' trails, so it was pretty clear nobody ever came here. I take my time, fill my basket, and enjoy the day. I get back to my car. Maybe people on Reddit were right and I was just tired or dehydrated, saw an animal, or my brain filled in something that was never there. I hydrated, I loaded my mushrooms into the truck, and suddenly from the tree lane I hear, "Hey." It was like the way someone whispers it really loudly in the movie theater, but it is so loud they may as well have just been talking. Hand to God, I expected a person to be standing there, a lost hiker, a hunter, or someone else capable of slipping under my radar. I zero in on the spot where the sound came from, and there is just an empty space and trees where I full on expected a person to be. I have never moved so fast in my life. I jumped back in my car and got out of there. I'm cool with the gnomes doing favors and stuff that saved me from an oil pan repair or whatever, but I am not cool with invisible things that can talk to me. Everyone has a limit, and this is clearly mine. Sorry to say, but this is the end of this chapter of my life. I thoroughly spooked, and that is it for me.
I don't know, he just gave up too easily.
No, because gnomes are part of the Fey world, and I think they're not very high on what's it called? Maliciousness. What is it called?
Tricksters, like
Yeah, they're more like they have jobs and duties, and that's what they do.
mhm,
Where there are so many other things. If you believe in gnomes, then you have to believe in all of it.
that's true.
So if gnomes are real, then everything else in the Fae world could possibly also be real. And there's so many other things out there that will do so much harm to you or trick you and they keep you. So it's I could see like, yeah, something invisible. Like people think fairies are so cute and they make them cute. But in like storybooks and everything, like real, not real books, but like not fairy tale books, but
Mhm.
other books about fae, they're not cute.
Yeah, they're supposed to be scary looking.
I don't know, probably not even scary looking because I know I've read some stories where they look more like nature.
Mhm,
So I could see like a fairy looking like, like the leafy bug. Well, that's what we call them, the leafy bugs,
mhm.
where it's a bug that looks like a leaf, or there's that
Yeah,
one that looks like a twig.
yeah, yeah.
I can see fairies looking like that. They look like nature, but they could eat you. You
Like
know,
every other insect out there.
they like to changelings. Changelings is they're part of the fae.
Mhm.
Changelings are fae children that they put into our world. They like to steal your kids.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not all
still
fairy
waiting
tale.
for that new season for Changelings to come out.
I don't even think I finished the last season. So
There's only 1 season.
yeah, so I didn't finish the last season.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for the next one. But anyway, so my story is from the paranormal Reddit from Sasha Berry. A spirit made a physical connect with me and harmed me, has demonic activity. I want to share a personal experience that's been bothering me for a while. It started about 2 or 3 months ago and it kept happening for several months. I'd hear strange noises in my storeroom, especially at night. One time, my brother and I checked the room around 3 a.m. We found that a heavy box had fallen over. It was as if someone had pushed it. Initially, we dismissed it as our imagination, but then I started experiencing a series of unexplained injuries. Every month, I get hurt by something, usually glass. I'd cut my hand or toe, and it would bleed profusely. It was always on the same day of the month, and it happened 3 times in a row. Additionally, I noticed that I'd get extremely angry and irritable on no moon days. I'd fight with my family, and it would escalate into something serious. After these episodes, I'd feel drained and exhausted. I've always been someone who's open to the paranormal, and I've had experiences with my ancestors in the past. So when these strange things started happening, I knew something was off. I confided in my mom, and she called our local priest, who's an expert in paranormal activities. He brought a guy with him who claimed to have a sixth sense. When I sat in front of him, he started shaking and shouting, telling the spirit to go away. He told us that there was a malevolent spirit in our home and it was targeting me specifically. He said it was trying to destroy me and create distance between me and my loved ones. The scariest part was when the guy came running at me and tapped my right shoulder really, really hard. The same spot where I'd felt an unexplained touch a few nights before all this started. I woke up by someone calling me out and I felt a touch on the same shoulder. The guy told me the spirit had made a physical connect with me, and that's why these injuries were happening too. Weird part is, I never told the priest or this guy about this night's incident. How did they even know? I was scared and shocked beyond words. The priest and his team performed a ritual to cleanse our home, and they told us we're safe now. But the experience has left me shaken. I'm still trying to process everything that happened, and I'm struggling to shake off the fear and anxiety. If anyone knows something about this, please do share. I am really scared.
I wonder how they knew because they were saying like she was touched and she never said anything, how the priest and this other person knew what she was experiencing without explaining what she experienced.
The person with the sixth sense that the priest brought in is most likely a psychic or a
Oh,
medium or
okay. So
something.
they said, yeah, I
So,
guess, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
I wonder
so they
too if,
probably already sensed it in the house.
yeah, that too, or I wonder if whatever is there said something to them.
Yeah, but they never said, like, if they felt anything after the cleansing ritual was performed. So I don't know if it continued or it stopped, because if it stopped, then that's all it really needed. The house needed to be cleansed.
I would assume they would have stopped only because then I would think they would continue the story.
Mhm.
I do know, like, There are times when, like, a priest or a spiritual person will come out and cleanse a house, and it doesn't help. Which makes me think, is it not done properly, or is it just something that would take more than one cleansing or more than one person cleansing? If my house was haunted by something malicious, something that would harm us, I'm not just calling a priest. I'm calling a priest, a pastor, a spiritual guide. I'm calling, I don't know what they call like the pastors at other religious, a rabbi. I don't know what they're called at mosques, like Muslim churches, but I'm calling all of them. And I want them to perform a spiritual cleansing all at once.
Yeah, the Muslim ones are called mullahs.
I want I want it all done at once because listen, you're gonna respond to one of these people.
Yeah, but you
And
can't do it with all of them in the same house because they might clash with different ideas, and then that's it, it's gonna even
it's not
create more. It's gonna create more
I don't think so. I don't think so. I
one
really
by one.
don't.
Each of them get 1 hour to cleanse
You
the
know what's
house
funny?
and then go.
I don't know if it was like one of the Dan Brown movies. It wasn't the Da Vinci Code though, where it's
Angels and demons,
I
that's
don't
the
know if
other
it
one
was
though.
Angels and Demons. I'm not sure if it was in that movie or one of the others where it was a bunch of they called a meeting of all the different churches, of all the different religions, and there was like a not a safeguard, but like a spiritual rites that they could do to like ban bad spirits.
Mhm.
So it's like to me, if I call all of them, they gotta know there's gotta be like a universal cleanse that they all could do within their own rights
Mhm.
and cleanse my house. Because I think even I didn't finish watching it because Tony fell asleep. And the one thing that me and the baby hate is when he falls asleep during the movie because then we don't want to finish watching it.
Why?
He's like asking me all these questions.
Oh,
One
what happened and
one,
yeah.
you shouldn't have fell asleep, or 2, watch what you missed. So I'm like, "I'm not answering no questions." We turned it off. I think he fell asleep within 30 minutes of The Exorcist, the new one, where it's the 2 little girls. But in that movie, that's what they do. They brought, like, priests and pastors from different religions to do a prayer over the girls to force the evil out. And I was like, "That's so smart." They should always do that. Because if you watch these Exorcist movies, it always takes days
Mhm.
for them to cast this evil spirit out. I'm trying to think what we were watching, and it had the name of a high-level demon, and I was like, "Oh, I'm shocked," because I'm wondering what it was. I've watched so much stuff now over my brain, like Silo, Squid Games, like, I've watched so many shows now, I'm like, they're all blending together.
Mhm. But yeah, in some movies, they do say demons' names, and I'm like, "Aren't you not supposed to say it out loud?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't
No,
that
saying it out loud takes away their power.
it doesn't make them want to come and appear to you?
I don't think so. And it's not about saying their name. It's about because you could say a name. Like how many shows? I think Charmed, the original Charmed. The one guy that Phoebe was married to was Balthazar. Balthazar
Mhm.
is a high level demon in hell.
That's a
We
name
say
they
that
say a
name.
lot in shows or movies.
It is. But it doesn't matter. And I am not allowing any possession of my body, knock on wood. But it's not about knowing the name, it's about knowing who's possessing you at the time.
Yeah.
Because unless you're gonna sit there and spit out every name,
Mhm.
you have to know which one is possessing you to get its power. That's like, what is that story, Rumpelstiltskin, where it's the powers in the name?
Mhm. Yeah, and they find out his name, and then that's it, he
Mhm.
goes wild.
A lot of people say, like, "Oh, these are just fairy tales," but, like, how they say, like, there's truth in every story, just like there's a truth in every lie, so where's the truth and where's the lie? Okay. This is a story from Miss Chi Elegant. She says, forest areas are always hiding something. My parents had inherited a fixer upper in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, and we'd often play in the woods. One summer when I was like 8 and my sis was like 7, We'd go out and play after lunch. My sister has always been short. She's 4'11" now, but she asked to go play without me because I was still eating. I was making my way towards her, and she was running back saying a funny little man tried to make her go with him. She said he was about her height, which was small for a grown man. We ran back to tell my dad, and my mom stayed to console her, but I went with him to check things out. We didn't find much. We found some marks in the dirt, like something was dragged around, but it didn't lead us anywhere. She still can remember his face. She said he had beady eyes with a bunch of wrinkles, not from age, but like a weathered face, dark hair, and dirty clothes that kind of looked like a nightgown. My parents just thought it was like a wandering kidnapper, but now we are convinced it was something like a gnome. My mom then told me that when they were digging a hole for a well, I was like 4, I told them a little blonde boy told me to jump in the hole. When they asked where he went, I pointed to the same area in the forest. I have no recollection of this. They said if I had jumped in, I would have surely died. They thought it was a lonely ghost kid wanting an eternal playmate. Then, when we told my aunt these stories, she said she played in that forest as a kid and she befriended a man that was a native Indian, and he took her to a cave where he showed her treasures, and he told her not to take them home. She went back to find the cave, but she never could find it as an adult. She said as an adult, she thinks he may have been a ghost, but as a kid, she didn't think about it. She said she played with him multiple times, and the last time she saw him, his face was rotted away, so she never went to find him again. My dad has relatives in the area, and they're all reported sightings of UFOs, fawn-like creatures, demons, and ghosts. The scariest part is that they shrug them off like, oh well, it is what it is. I thought that was funny because that's how I am. These gotta be Spanish people because that's how Spanish people are. Like it's
Well,
not like,
if they're not hurting you and that's your home, you're not gonna really dig into it and make things worse for yourself. If the woods are haunted, the woods are haunted, then they're not gonna go in the woods. Like, if they're not hurting anybody, it doesn't sound like they're really hurting anybody. My story is from Great Big Red Dog. 1.5-year-old won't stop talking about shadow. This is a unexplained story. My daughter keeps talking about shadow. For example, today she woke up crying hysterically. And when I asked her to tell me what's wrong, she says, the shadow in my bed. I said there isn't a shadow and it's okay. She won't stop talking about seeing the shadow though. I told her the other day to just tell it to go away. And she said, go away earlier out of nowhere. So she keeps saying, where's a shadow in her room? I put up the pack and play in our room for tonight. She was waving at our bedroom door saying hi and talking about the shadow again. Then she was saying, go to bed and other stuff to herself, which was kind of weird since she repeats things other people say all the time. And I wasn't saying anything, just kind of weirded out. Our house was built in 1807 and people may have passed here. Update, we moved her into our room last night. She slept much better and a lot less talk of it. She started bringing it up around bedtime and I was watching our baby monitor. I've never seen an orb on it before, and now I am seeing them actively flying around the room around me. What the F? Dust? Sure, but I've never seen this dust before.
I have to collect myself. Your baby tells you there is a shadow person sleeping in their bed. I need you to take that shit serious.
Yeah. Shadow in my bed. That would scare the shit out of me if my 1.5-year-old said that. I was like, wait, what?
My baby tell me there is a shadow person sleeping next to them in bed. We're not sleeping in this bed no more. We trashing the bed, the mattress, we're everything. I might sage it first. I might give it a chance. I might sage the whole thing. Be like, if it comes back, it's just gone.
Okay, first of
'Cause
all, throwing away the bed isn't going to fix
I
the
don't
problem.
know. I don't know because my thing is it wasn't there before, so now all of a sudden it's there now. I don't know. What did
Yeah,
you bring
I
home?
would. The room's
It's like
changing. That's all
it's
I
like
know.
bringing home bed bugs. What did you bring home?
Yeah, the rooms are changing.
No.
There's gonna be consistently sage burning
And
in
they
that
ain't put
room.
it in the pack and play. No, you
Mhm,
sleeping in this bed. I'm
mhm.
fully wrapping my body around this child. You gotta get through me to get to this child. Told
I
it to
mean, it
tell
seemed
it to
like she
go
stopped
away. It sounds like y'all over it. Yo, just tell it to go away. You tell it to go away.
because they can't see it, and it seemed like she wasn't scared of it anymore if she started saying hi to it.
Once she told it to go away? I can't.
after. I mean, anything from the 1800s seems to be haunted. Any house, any area. I feel like it's like a repeat of anything that's haunted. It was built or the people lived in the 1800s for some odd reason. I don't
Well,
hear a lot of like current stuff. If there is, it's not a lot.
so I just got this one. I miss from paranormal encounters, I miss my pencils. I saw a small red devil boy when I was a child. My parents are fully aware of this and they did what they thought was best at the time. They are Catholic faith. I'm not much of the churchgoer. And seemingly, not much happened since. Anyway, when I was 4 or 5 years old, my dad bought me to a very, very old house in the late 80s located in Michoacan, Mexico. And they said it was a flurry of paranormal activity upon staying in my grandma's house. There was reports of fire, smoke coming out of the ground, dundes, smell of sulfur, pieces of gold, and old coins would pop up around when someone was cleaning after smudging the house. But the one that stuck out the most to my parents was that I woke up my dad very calmly one night and told him there was a small, red, devilish looking child with a long tail that flailed like a happy dog at the doorway that was motioning me with his hand to go play with him at night. When my dad told me the story around the age of 11, it was like a faded memory that started to come back to me, but it hasn't scared me. From my memory, it felt like a rogue spirit that didn't have anyone to play or talk to, so it sought me out. I have zero intention of trying to contact it, and I hope it stays away, but I found it so curious. Also, when the first Hellboy movie came out, I was like, holy crap, that looks eerily familiar. During the flashback scenes, yeah, just wanted to share. Has anyone ever felt something like that in their youth? I've searched for stories of this for others, and not much seems to come up. But what made me think of this story, or go back to it, because you were saying something about the 1800s, is that he was saying like this was back in the 80s and he went to a very old house in Mexico, and those houses are so old because Mexico is an old country. So it makes me think these countries that are so old, way older than ours, that are built on top of ruins of older cities, could they be more haunted than like where we are? Like we see things here, like we experience things here, like, last week's episode was what is it, the Battle of Gettysburg, and we were talking about how basically there's dead people buried all along that city and it's just built on top. But that's because it was a battlefield. So of course maybe they would experience things there, but there you hear like all these cities that collapsed and then they just built on top of them, especially in other countries where civilizations collapse and then they rebuild and then they collapse and then they rebuild. Could that be why certain places, especially certain countries, are way more haunted than others?
I mean, yes, that's a possibility because there's more life there. There was more life.
More energy
Mhm.
imbued into the earth around it. But also seeing a devilish little child,
Unless that's what it just wanted to appear to this person. I mean,
as a child,
mhm.
like it could change its appearance, but not its full appearance.
Yeah. I don't have no clue.
Well, that's like, with me and Tony watching The Silo, he was like, "What do you think this represents?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Do you think it's almost like the Matrix?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." And he was like, "Would you want to wake up?" I'm like, "No. No. I'm not taking I'm cool right here." I'm like, "Did you see the Matrix when they woke up in their real world?
Mhm.
And that slimy stuff, eating slop? I'd rather eat this fake steak or chicken or whatever and live this fake life than wake up and be in a doomsday hell." Like, I'm cool with the illusion 100%. Yeah, but how do you know? How do you know the illusion won't look better? I don't need to know if the illusion looks better or not because I don't care enough to know if the illusion is better or not. I am satisfied being a what does he call me? An avatar? Not an avatar. Is it an avatar? I think it is an avatar. Like just living in a Sims game. I am okay. I'm okay with the simulation. I'm okay with the dimension. I'm okay with the illusion. I'm okay because I don't care enough to not be okay. Like some people, like they want to know so bad. And I'm like, just and they judge the people who don't want to know. But the thing is, are you any happier with those thoughts? Because I feel like people who have those thoughts,
Like there's something better out there.
yeah,
They
will
can't
drive,
enjoy
yeah,
the moment.
they're not enjoying the moment. They're driving themselves crazy, trying
Mhm.
to reach. Like it's not always what's in, it's not always greener on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I'm like, "It's not greener on the other side.
So
It's greener where you water it."
is it is it perfect here? No, but it doesn't mean it's the devil you know. I know
Mhm.
this place. I don't know that place. The
Yeah.
problems that will come with it, the demons that will come with it. I am 100% good. Okay?
Mhm.
I'll figure it out when I die and I pass on and maybe we see that other side and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I was so stupid. I should have known sooner." But I'll get there. I got there, so it doesn't matter to me. You don't get
Either way, you're gonna get there. Somehow you're gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm like, if you stress too much about listen, I stress about everyday things that already get on my nerves, okay? I got a teenage boy that I stress about, is he gonna go to college? Is he gonna get a good job? Is he gonna be happy? Will he, find someone to love? Like, I already stress about those things in my literal everyday life, and we're not even there yet. I stress about will he ever drive drunk? Or will he be in a car crash with a bunch of friends when he learns how to drive? Like nothing that's ever happened or might never happen or nowhere near that time. I stress about that. I can't stress about that. And oh, we might be living in a simulation in a dimension. You don't get out my
You
face.
know why? You know why? Because Tony is not worried about the things you're worried about. So he can
Exactly.
think about the simulations and the
Yeah.
grass is greener on the other side. I think he wants to experience a spiritual awakening so he knows what's out there. So I don't know,
Well,
but
listen, he could do that all on his lonesome. I give you all the grace. But that's like when he was like, the baby doesn't actually belong to us,
yeah, you told
you
me.
know? And I'm like, you don't get out my face because my bad, no, he doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
You didn't birth a child that had a rope tethered to his body, to your body for 9 freaking months. If you don't get out of my face, he don't belong to me.
Yeah,
He don't
say he
belong
don't
to you.
say he don't belong to you, but he belongs to me. So
I always tell him all the time because he tells the baby all the time. Well, you came for me first. I said you had him in your body tops 24 hours before he was in my body for over 9 months.
mhm. Yeah.
So who does he really belong to? Okay, you invested $1. I turned that dollar into millions. It's mine. That's what that is.
And then the kid's like, "Guys, I don't belong to either one of you, so shut the hell up."
Be like, I belong to mom. It's like we came home the other day, and he told the baby, and Tony told the baby, if you don't get your ugly face out of here, and he's like, you call me ugly though I look just like your girl. And it's like, I said, oh, so we look alike now because
Oh,
all
yeah.
this time you've been denying how
No,
me and
no.
you
Y'all
look
look alike when it benefits him.
what it benefits him. Mhm. So off the rails. It's time for the tarot card of the week, where we draw a card to guide us through the days ahead. What insights, warnings, or mysteries will the deck reveal this time? Let's shuffle and see what the cards have in store. The tarot card of the week is the Star.
Oh, that is a good card.
The star signifies a renewal of spirit, bringing forth calmness, serenity, and an optimistic outlook for the future. The card represents a strong connection to one's spirituality and the potential for emotional and physical healing. It's a symbol of radiant positivity. When the star card appears, you are likely to find yourself feeling inspired. It brings renewed hope and faith and a sense that you are truly blessed by the universe at this time. The upright position means bright future, wealth, happiness, best changes. This is a very good card that tells a person about future success.
Gotta play the lottery.
Yeah, because that's a good card.
Mhm.
I didn't like last week's card, and it did really affect me, and I didn't think it would.
It affected me.
Yeah, it affected because we haven't had a bad tarot card, and then that one I was like, "Oh, okay," but, but no, I really felt it.
Mhm.
So I was like,
I did feel it, and I'm just like, "Damn it, I didn't want it to be about me."
I so did I. I was like, "Oh, this is nothing," but
Or are we thinking about it so we're manifesting it?
I don't feel I know because I was like, "This card is not gonna affect me at all."
Yeah, because 'cause I'm like, "Where how would this affect me?" Like, I didn't believe it was for me,
Yeah,
and it did affect me, and I was just not happy with that.
I was not happy
So
with it either.
so I'm gonna do the same. This card is not gonna affect me. It's not gonna be about me, so then
So you're
it
gonna
can't.
try to are you trying to reverse psychology the universe? Are you serious?
Yes, yes.
You're like, "Yep,
Okay, universe,
we
I'm
see
gonna
you,
play the I'm gonna play the lottery, but
but I'm just
as
playing to play."
exactly, and then if I win, "Oh my god, the star card was for me."
The universe is like, "Nah, get out of here." That is hilarious. Oh my god.
Well,
But that was a good card.
that wraps up this episode of Shadow Keepers. If tonight's stories gave you chills, they did their job.
Remember, the shadows hide more than we think. Share your own paranormal encounters with us on our subreddit. We'd love to hear them.
Be sure to follow, review, and join us next time as we dive even deeper into the mysteries that keep us awake at night.
And as always, stay vigilant, stay awake, stay aware.
And remember, not all shadows are harmless.
Bye.
Bye.
Be quiet.